is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another installment of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. If you're a regular listener, I'm glad to see you again, metaphorically speaking, of course. And if you're a new listener, well, thanks for joining the party. I am the Celebrity Medium, and like always, I have a roundup of the latest gossip from the next world scene to share with you. And with the pleasantries and salutations out of the way, let's get right to the action. Things are heating up with the Gabor sisters situation. If you are unfamiliar with Magda, Zsa and Ava Gabor, it may be helpful to think of them as the forerunners of the Kardashian sisters, known for being famous more than for what they did to become famous. As you know, if you've been listening to the show in recent weeks, Zsa transitioned to the afterlife recently and was invited to move in next door to Ava in Trump City, the whites-only community overseen by Fred Trump, Donald's father. Now, there has been widespread speculation about whether or not the sisters know the nature of their new hometown. One of my Next World paparazzi contacts happened to encounter the duo in a restaurant the other day. So he walked up and asked Zsa and Ava how they felt about Trump City's racist policies. Now, they both claimed not to know anything about it, and they said it was safe and clean there, and that's all they cared about. He then asked Zsa how she felt about her earthly plane husband. Well, the last earthly plane husband, because she had like 8 of them. Frederick Prinz von Anhalt, keeping her ashes in an urn on his fireplace mantle rather than having them buried as she reportedly asked for in her will. Von Anhalt, who has been accused in the past of pretending to be European royalty, told People magazine that they are his wife's ashes and that he will do with them as he pleases. Now, my source tells me that Zsa said she hadn't heard anything about that and she seems shocked. She and Ava then quickly got in the car waiting for them and sped off. There seems to be a lot going on with the youngest 2 Gabor sisters right now. We haven't even heard from older sister Magda yet, and I can't imagine the Trump City part of the tale ending anytime soon. Last week I reported that soon after Carrie Fisher and her mother Debbie Reynolds were reunited in the afterlife, they reported that they will be co-hosting a TV show called The Girls. Reports say that it will be similar to The View, with other women rotating in and out of the discussion panel on the show. Reynolds and Fisher are currently on a press junket to promote their upcoming program. So the other day they stopped by the Babe and His Bullpen morning radio show hosted by New York Yankee legend turned shock jock Babe Ruth. And as regular listeners know, Ruth is infamous in the Next World for making his guests uncomfortable or even pissing them off. I'm told, however, that he was uncharacteristically respectful, if probing, in his questioning of the mother-daughter duo. And rather than the host stirring things up, this time it was Carrie herself who caused the most talk after the interview. When Ruth asked her if there was anything she wished she could say to someone on the earthly plane, she answered, "Actually, yes, there is. I'd like to tell my longtime friend and companion, Penny Marshall, that I love her as much now as ever, and that she should feel free to be herself." Now that, as you might guess, has caused much speculation about what exactly Carrie meant. Maybe we'll get some clarification down the road. Jimmy Superfly Snuka was a legendary professional wrestler. He transitioned over the weekend to the afterlife. Now, back in 1983, Snuka was suspected of murdering his then-girlfriend Nancy Argentino in a motel room in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And despite evidence of foul play, he he was not charged with the crime at the time. In January 2014, however, the Lehigh County District Attorney turned the still open case over to a grand jury. In September 2015, 32 years after the incident, Snooker was arrested and charged with third-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter for Argentino's death. Last year, because he had cancer and was determined to be mentally incompetent to stand trial, the charges against Jimmy were dropped. Now, I give you all this backstory to explain what happened when he arrived in the next world. No sooner had he gotten there than he was confronted by the aforementioned Nancy Argentino. According to my sources, Snooker seemed shocked to see her there. Gee, you think so? I'm told that things seemed very tense between them for a long, uncomfortable moment until Argentino threw her arms around Jimmy and kissed him passionately on the lips. Snooker returned the affection after a moment. Now, my main source for this story said he wasn't close enough to hear everything that was said between them, but he was able to make out Argentino saying, "It's okay, Jimmy. Nothing matters now. It's all good," before the two walked off together hand in hand. So that little exchange raises some questions. Does it mean that Snooker didn't murder her? Or does it mean that she forgives him for killing her? And if he didn't kill her, why did she have bruises that were consistent with, quote, mate abuse, unquote, as the examining coroner said? Will we ever have the answer to these questions? We don't know, so, stay tuned. One more quick story before I shuffle off for another week. Actor Dick Gautier transitioned to the next world over the weekend as well. He was probably best known as Conrad Birdie in the Broadway production of Bye Bye Birdie, and as Jaime the Robot on the sitcom Get Smart. When he arrived in his new existence, his fellow cast member and star of Get Smart, Don Adams, was on hand to greet him. The word I've received is that Adams has a project in mind that he would like Gautier to work with him on. I don't know what the project is just yet, but I have my sources working on finding out so I can tell you in an upcoming episode of the report. And with that, I am done here for now. I apologize for the cold I have, which probably makes me sound horribly nasal, and I hope I'll be over that the next time you hear from me. So please come back next week when I'll have another roundup of up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebs. And would you do me a favor and please tell your friends that the report is available on iTunes, in the Google Play Store, and on K-Chung Radio AM 1630 in Los Angeles. I am the Celebrity Medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.